Across India, millions of children attend government schools taught in regional languages. For most, English remains a subject, not a skill. But here's the thing. Higher education in India speaks one language, English. Engineering, medicine, law, accountancy. Every professional path demands fluency in it.
My name is Pranil Naik. I am the founder of Leap Forward, a Mumbai-based NGO which is trying to solve the problem of English illiteracy in regional language schools across the country. Professional higher education in India is available only in English. If one wants to become an engineer, doctor, chartered accountant, English becomes inevitable. This is true, but what is also true is that more than three-fourths of the students studying in schools in the country study in regional language government schools. So if a child has studied in a regional language government school for the first 10 years of his life, it becomes extremely difficult for this child to upgrade to an English-only higher education space. So why is it that English, despite being a subject in most schools across the country from grade 1, we have not been able to democratize English learning?
The problem isn't the lack of teachers or classrooms. It's that most teachers themselves don't speak English. And language, unlike math or science, can't be memorized. You need to hear it, to speak it, to live it.
So the problem lies in the fact that while there are good teachers across the schools, most of these teachers cannot speak English. And like any language, if you cannot listen to a language, you will never be able to acquire that language. So children go to schools where teachers cannot speak English. As a result, students cannot listen to English, and as a result, they cannot acquire English, and that's the vicious circle.
Leap Forward began by breaking that circle, by changing how English is taught, not as a foreign language, but as something that can be understood in one's mother tongue.
So instead of looking at English as a language, we look at English as a subject like mathematics, history, geography, science, and we say, just like these subjects can be taught in the mother tongue, let English be also taught in the mother tongue. And with that hypothesis began a journey of multiple iterations leading to development of an algorithm that maps English to major Indian languages.
What began as a community project soon scaled across Maharashtra and then across India. Today, Leap Forward operates in 12 states, in 6 Indian languages, reaching thousands of classrooms and countless young minds.
I look at Leap Forward and its journey in 3 phases. Phase 1 was about product development, community iterations, and developing a product which can be launched. Phase 2 was our test for scale. Can we move beyond our mother state and serve the larger country? And phase 3, which we are currently a part of, we are thinking, how can we truly democratize our program, seed it into the market in various forms, such that young people out there, educated, unfortunately unemployed, could be trained to become tuition teachers. Small publishers take our techniques, publish textbooks and sell. They make some money, but children around them learn English.
At its heart, Leap Forward isn't just about English. It's about opportunity. The team believes teachers should have the freedom to choose what works for them, not a top-down mandate.
We believe that teachers should always have the choice to decide what works for them. And hence, not even once in this last 15 odd years of our existence have we proposed to governments to enforce our program in the classrooms. But what we truly want is an opportunity to train every single regional language school teacher in the country. Allow them an opportunity to evaluate these techniques and decide for themselves whether it is easy enough for them to implement in their classrooms.
The spirit of collaboration is what's driving their partnerships today with state governments, schools, and communities who see real change happening in real classrooms.
So the English literacy program of Leap Forward is a 4-level program. It is meant for students of grade 2nd to grade 8. There are some classrooms when we visit, we realize that the impact of the program actually does not really stop at student or at teacher level. For example, in one of the classrooms in Jharkhand, a parent of the student works in that school. She works as a midday meal preparator. Every school has a small kitchen where they prepare midday meals. And because she saw that her child was learning English, she also used to observe from outside the classroom. And she also started learning using our techniques. And actually she learned, now she started teaching or taking students homework at home, and also started teaching women around the village. So the impact that we see in each classroom is of a different level. Students may not have seen that word anywhere, but because they know the techniques, they will be able to break the word and read it. And then they ask, okay, so iska matlab kya hai? So that level of learning, from reading to spelling a word and then taking towards meaning, is something that is very insightful.
Asha, mic low or spelling bata.
Leap Forward's methods have now become part of Jharkhand's Nipun mission, the national effort to strengthen foundational literacy and numeracy. Here, children display their skills through the state's FLN championship, inspired by Leap Forward's own word power concept, a spelling-based challenge that celebrates how far they've come.
State has adapted it and made it part of their FLN championship, where towards the end of the year, students have a platform to showcase their newly acquired English skills. And of course, along with English now, Hindi and math come part of that FLN.
For teachers too, the shift is visible. No longer limited to roll lessons of names of flowers or months of the year, they now have the tools to make English come alive in their classrooms.
Our program kind of helps them to crack that code कि अभी English में सिखाए कैसे. So when we tell them that you have to teach your original syllabus, but start teaching techniques, start incorporating these techniques so that students start learning independently. And that is what English literacy program answers for teachers as well.
From a small idea in Mumbai to a movement across India, Leap Forward is reimagining how language shapes opportunity. Because when a child learns to read a word, they also learn to read the world. Across India, classrooms are full, but teachers are few. In rural schools, one teacher often manages hundreds of students, juggling subjects far outside their training. The result? Learning gaps, low attendance, and high dropout rates. But a young team at Ecovation decided to change that.
We are essentially solving two critical problems of education sector. One, we are having very limited quality teachers, and on an annual basis, they are hardly teaching 100 to 150 learners. So we want to expand that reach and ensure access to quality education for all. And the second important problem which we tried solving through Ecovation is the personalization and contextualization of education for learners. Not all learners learned at the same pace. So that's where the contextualization and personalization of education is critically important, and that we are doing through the use of technologies like ML and AI.
Equation began with the simple belief that access to quality education shouldn't depend on where a child is born. With machine learning and AI, they set out to create a platform that could adapt to every learner's pace and every region's language. But first, they had to solve a classic chicken and egg problem: how to bring both teachers and students onto the same platform.
This is typical chicken egg problem for any platform model. So initial period to break this chicken egg problem, we hired in-house educators who created content for us, again in different languages wherever we are implementing and doing the project. And we created curriculum, engaged initial set of learners. Once the initial impact story started coming in, which is Unnayan Baka, the story, the story spread across, and then we started seeing a lot of teachers coming organically. We do have quality teachers who are limited in numbers. So in government school system also, those quality teachers who are there, they onboarded with us once we expanded the model across state and different regions. And then we have started creating those content with those teachers and ensured their reach to millions of the learners who are following the application and the startup.
Unnayan Baka, launched in partnership with the district administration of Baka in Bihar, became a model of what Equation could achieve. In schools struggling with attendance and resources, the team introduced video-based learning, turning classrooms into interactive spaces.
In 2016, when we visited Banka, we understood that the problem is twofold. One is the scarcity of quality and quantity of teachers, which rippled down into the problem of single-digit attendance percentage across learners within multiple schools there in Banka. That is when we started the social innovation by placing LED screen in the school with a pen drive installed and a remote access that was given to the teachers. The role of a teacher was moved from teaching to moderation, wherein they were responsible for ensuring discipline in the class, while the learners learned and moved from the traditional teacher-based learning to video-based learning. The impact that we created was significant. In one school where we started from, we moved from single-digit attendance percentage to 60-65% attendance. In a month's time, we moved from one school to 5 schools, and the results again were staggering. On an average of 17% attendance that we saw across these 5 schools, we moved from 17% to 53%.
It wasn't just a digital intervention. It was a reimagination of how learning happens. By combining teacher facilitation with offline technology, Equation made education accessible, even in the most resource-constrained environments.
With Equation, right, when we were doing our ground work research, right, so we realized that the technology where we are intending to deploy it is really resource constrained, right? We saw families, where the entire family is just having one mobile phone, and the parent and the siblings, everyone is accessing just one mobile phone to access all the content, right? So that's when we realized that we actually need like a platform which is very versatile and can be deployed in a very resource constrained environment. So that's when we realized that, okay, let's shift this model to like a one-to-many model, right? So our platform, right, can be deployed like in minutes on a like in a classroom, right, where we'll give them a like a pen drive where all the videos are there, and they will just connect that pen drive onto the TV, and the video will start playing, right? And the students will then learn from that video which the teacher is playing, and they will like give their assessment either on a phone or on a QR enabled like physical answer sheet that they are given, right? And later on that will be scanned by the teacher and uploaded onto the platform.
No heavy infrastructure, no internet dependency, just technology built for the realities of rural India. Light, flexible and deeply human.
We took a lot of inspiration from WhatsApp, for example, right? It's a very light app, it works on a very like low end phone also, right? So we took a lot of inspiration from that, and that's how we made Ecovation app into a very minimal app, which is having only the very minimum required features, and that's how the app size is very less. So even in a very low internet connection environment as well, you can download the app and use it.
Behind every innovation lies collaboration, and for Ecovation, government support has been key, from district officers to education departments. The idea found champions who helped take it to every corner of the state.
If this kind of a model has to sustain and scale, the inclination and the interest of district administration and state government is very, very critical. We are very fortunate that wherever we have implemented the program, we have received positive contribution from state government and district administration.
What started as a small experiment has now evolved into a growing ecosystem where teachers co-create content, students learn at their own pace, and technology bridges the last mile. From Unayan Baka to projects across multiple states, Ecovation is quietly transforming India's classrooms. One screen, one child at a time. Ecovation isn't just an edtech platform. It's a social innovation, blending technology, policy, and people to make education truly inclusive. Because the future of learning isn't about replacing teachers. It's about empowering them.
Here's a quick question. Where does your money actually go every month? Most of us don't know until it's gone. Bills, small splurges, online orders, it all adds up quietly. That's why budgeting matters. A budget isn't about restriction, it's about direction, knowing what's coming in, what's going out, and what's being saved. And that's why understanding how budgeting works is essential. And that's where IDFC First Academy helps you learn easy ways to take charge through bite-sized lessons on how to plan, build, and adjust your budget as your needs change. A good budget starts with knowing your income, expenses, savings, and goals. Whether it's for emergencies, travel, or long-term plans. From the 50-30-20 rule to zero-based budgeting, there's no one-size-fits-all. Just what works best for you. And when families budget together, it builds trust, teaches discipline, and helps children value money early on. Budgeting isn't about numbers, it's about being smart with your money. Learn how on IDFC First Academy. So join IDFC First Academy and start your journey of financial literacy now.